Hello! Do I have a treat for you today? As many of you know, I'm an avid terrible movie watcher. I love watching bad movies. And if you've ever gone searching for any of these bad movies, you'll start to see a pattern really quickly. For whatever reason, there are literally tons of horror movies about sharks. And even the good ones are bad. Like, what is this? Why does this exist? So who knows how bad these bad ones really are? I mean, I do. I know how bad they are because I made this video and I sat down with my girlfriend, who I did not force, and watched some of the worst shark movies I could find on the internet. And now I want to preface, there is a very specific kind of bad that I'm looking for, because if you really search on like Plex or Tubi, you can find some really shitty like $50 camcorder 2004 movies that they kind of just, I feel bad making fun of them almost, because they feel like a passion project that was made in your friend's video production class in high school. They don't feel like a movie, if that makes sense. I'm specifically looking for the movies that are really bad, but for some reason had a budget behind them. Take Frankenfish, the last one we did, for example. Terrible movie, had a surprisingly large budget for what it was. I'm not looking for Greg and Tyler in their basement recording their found footage horror film. I'm looking for Frankenfish again. I'm on the hunt. There's just something so magical about these absolutely terrible movies that makes me feel almost nostalgic for some reason. In a sense, I can't look away. It's like driving by a car crash. You don't really know why, but you have to look, you know? You just have to look. Enough stalling. This was my quest to find the worst shark movie. Now, I used a variety of different websites, like I mentioned earlier, Plex, I went on Amazon Video for a little bit, I went on a bunch of different sites, but for some reason, the absolute king of bad movies is still Tubi. At this point, I need to get sponsored by them because this is like the 5th video in a row that I've mentioned them, and I need to stop, actually. I'm addicted. I can't stop watching these Tubi movies. Like I mentioned earlier, there are some pretty quick no's in here, like Sharks of the Corn. Inside the vast cornfields of Druid Hills, Kentucky, the mutilated bodies of locals begin cropping up with the great white sharks accused of the murders. Sounds absolutely perfect for this kind of video, right? You're reading that and going, what the fuck do you mean sharks in Kentucky? Unfortunately, 90% of this movie's hour and 45-minute runtime feels like you're sitting in the back of the class with like a friend watching a really shitty video production video. You know, it's kind of fun for the first 5 minutes, then after a while you just start cringing really hard and you don't want to be there anymore. That being said, I wanted to up the budget a little bit so we could really get into that golden range of shitty movies. Which brings us to our first real contender for the worst shark movie I could find. MegaShark versus MechaShark. Yeah, this is a real movie. This movie, released in 2014, kind of rides off the coattails of Sharknado, where everybody was just trying to replicate that really shitty shark movie that everybody seemed to love with Sharknado. And before you ask, I'm not gonna mention Sharknado here. It's kind of a dead horse at this point. Everybody knows about it. I want to find something truly awful. The premise of this movie, brought to you by The Asylum Productions, which I'm assuming is named after where they got all the writers. It just kind of feels like a knockoff of Pacific Rim, if you've ever seen that, but instead of like a giant monster versus a robot man, it's just a shark versus a robot shark that's a little bit bigger. Which, to be fair, that's kind of cool as fuck. I can't lie. That's kind of sweet. But like I was saying, this movie is kind of just one big monster fight like Godzilla or just any other monster fight movie you've seen. But what won me over was the surprisingly good budget that they spent absolutely none of on the VFX of the shark or the MechaShark. My favorite scene from the movie is this one right here. I don't know why this one's so prevalent, but I feel like every movie I see that's in this kind of aquatic monster genre, there's always one scene where it fucking slow-mo flies through the air. I don't know why it happens every single time, but it's always here. But while this movie is bad, like objectively bad, it was honestly not very memorable. It was more so just boring. They kind of lean into this movie sucks trope where they were like, we know it's shit, but that's the point. And it's like, that's not quite what I'm looking for. I want to be watching a movie and say to myself, who made this movie? How was this made? And like, why? Why? So after watching that unfortunately boring monstrosity, I knew I could find better. Or I guess worse. I found a worse movie. This movie was actually mentioned in the comment section of the Frankenfish video, which has kind of inspired this video actually. The title of that movie is Hammerhead Shark Frenzy. The description reads, a pharmaceutical team journeys to a remote island to meet with an enigmatic scientist and discovers that his experiments have created a monster. Which just kind of led me to think, I really wish I could be like an enigmatic scientist in the middle of some random island, just in the ocean. No one cares, no one knows I'm here, like that Spy Kids island or like Jurassic Park or Shark Frenzy guy. Like, how do I get that job, you know? I feel like it's just way too common of a trope for how insanely specific it is when you really think about it. Anyways, this movie's a little different. It's not like Jurassic Park where he's trying to raise these super evolved sharks or anything. His son was dying of cancer, so he injected him with hammerhead DNA and that saved him, but now he's a hammerhead man hybrid. I'm not joking, that's genuinely the premise of this movie. I mean, maybe try like chemo or going to a doctor or maybe some even experimental surgery. I don't know, call House. I feel like there's a few more options before we reach turning my son into a hammerhead shark creature. Yeah, I feel like we kind of jumped the gun a little bit. You know what the weirdest part is? I found another movie titled Sharkman, released in 2005, which at first I was like, okay, I guess this is just a popular genre of making Sharkman hybrids from 2005. But after looking at it a little bit further, it turns out these are both the same movie, but depending on where you look for it and what streaming service you're on, you will get a different title and description and logo. I don't know why. I don't know if it was like a weird rights issue, but movie's not good enough to do that. I think they tried to rebrand it into Sharkman afterwards to try to like save face. It didn't help. It didn't help. Also, I just wanted to mention, why is Sharkman's ear so small? And like, this is genuinely one of the worst edits I've ever seen. You can see the smudge tool on his face. And you can see where they chroma keyed the mouth over him and like made him blue. Like, that's just a shark mouth that they grabbed off the internet and threw on him. Like, I genuinely think I could make a better edit. To be honest, this movie was completely insane. It was just really bad. The problem with a lot of these old 2005 movies that have these really crazy plots is something really dumb happens for like 5 seconds, like this.
My son.
And then the other 95% of the movie is the most boring, dialogue-heavy movie you've ever seen in your life. And that's why they don't do well. But with that being said, the movie I really wanted to talk about today was Shark Side of the Moon. This movie is a Tubi original, which means Tubi themselves put money into this movie to get it made. I really don't know how to describe this movie, so we're just gonna kind of watch it. We're just gonna go through it, you know? Okay, so we open up in this like top secret Soviet lab where we meet these two scientists. I guess they're running shark experiments. They don't really say at the beginning, but it's kind of obvious it's a shark movie. There's sharks in there, right? It's a big tank. Apparently, one of them like knocks the other person and neither of them notice this bucket go fucking flying into the tank and break the security system, letting all of the hybrid shark people to start escaping. And oh my God. Do these graphics suck? Just to give you a good visual of what we're in for, this is an overhead of the shark monsters chasing after them. So, yeah, this is a real movie that I actually found. They keep running and, good God, this dialogue is just hilarious. They get on the ship and he's like, "Don't you remember your cosmonaut training?" in like the worst Russian accent you've ever heard. Probably worse than what I just did, and mine was terrible. Speaking of, only one of them actually has a Russian accent. The other one's just speaking like plain American English, just like some dude. But they're both supposed to be Russian. Apparently, cosmonaut training also includes loading a bunch of shark human people onto a spaceship and flying to the moon, which is where we get our title card. So when I saw Shark Side of the Moon, I thought this was gonna be a movie about like werewolves, but it's sharks instead of wolves, so like were-sharks. It's so much worse. It's so much worse, man. We cut from the title card to present-day America getting ready to launch for the moon. We meet our spacefaring cast in their high-tech gear of AirPods? I don't know. It says present day, but they're supposed to be future tech, and then some of them are wearing AirPods. And what is happening? Hold on. Yeah, so I thought this was an ad at first, but this is just a random interjection into the movie. I'm not joking, this is here. This is not an ad. I don't know what the fuck this is. It was a motorcycle driving by for like 5 seconds. Anyways, that doesn't really matter. We cut back to our crew as they launch for the moon. They yap about a bunch of like space jargon, and this new guy comes in, and they all don't like him. They never address this plot anywhere else in the movie, but they pretend that they really hate this guy at first. They start making their way to the moon, and they mention taking sleep shifts, but like in a singular tense. Like, oh, I need to go take my sleep shift before we get there, implying that they're getting there in like 1 day, which is kind of crazy. I mean, it takes us now around 3 days, so I guess it's not that crazy, but whatever. It's just a personal gripe, okay? The ship starts having some electromagnetic interference, and they get some pretty suspicious sounds. They get some pretty fishy sounds. They get some pretty crazy noises that are feeling fishy. Get it? I'm sorry. And look, I can't fault actors that are like just starting or like very B-list actors like the people in this movie are, but they should have a little bit more energy when they're about to crash into the fucking moon and die, but they're all just like, oh no, we're gonna crash. Oh no, wait, no, we have to save the algae. We can't crash now. What about our mission? Like, I'm not expecting an Oscar-worthy performance from Shark's Side of the Moon, but at least a little bit of acting could go a long way, you know? Anyways, they crash onto the moon and they start assessing the damages. And this movie really falls into the random jargon issue that a lot of sci-fi horror movies have, where they just start saying a bunch of random words that sound smart and technically work together, but they don't really mean anything. But they realize they need to go fix the outside, so they walk onto this 2004 looking green screen. Genuinely, I think I could do a better green screen job than this here. And this was made in 2014 with a Tubi budget. This wasn't made with like $20 in a camcorder. I don't know. I'm getting off track. They start traveling around to get this old space rover because apparently it has a bunch of parts that they can steal from it to talk back to the US. And they leave a few to the base to do a run through, so they split the team in half. The people that are out on the moon are just like walking around. They finally make it to the rover and we start seeing tremors in the ground. And I wonder if you guys can guess what that is. Remember that this is a shark movie, by the way. Remember that this is a shark movie. So yeah, it's a space shark. The sharks are still alive on space and they're actually stronger now, I think. I don't know, but they're alive and they're chasing them. We get this absolutely hilarious slow-mo sequence where he just gets obliterated by one of the sharks, which I don't know what it is with cheap movies and doing slow-mo sequences. Maybe it's to pad the runtime, but they're always so funny. They're so good. The three that are still alive start running back to the ship, and suddenly one of the sharks just explodes, right? And they're like, what happened? Why did he explode? Lo and behold, that Russian dude is also alive and here, and he has a spear and a girl. How? And also, he's not even wearing a suit. If you look, he's wearing like an oxygen thing, like an oxygen line that you give old people and people that can't breathe in hospitals. How is he alive out there? What the fuck? Also, he kind of looks like Rivers Cuomo. Does anybody else think that, or am I insane? Anyways, they piece up the shark and the Russian starts to talk, and he assumes that they're there to like rescue him from his dangerous mission that he went on, but they just hit him with the, who even are you, man? Like they verbatim just go, who are you? To which the lady calls him Papa, which I just want to preface, he was the only one on that ship. How does he have a child? How does he have, oh, she turned around. She has a shark fin. He fucked a shark. I thought they wanted to eat him. How did they let him do that? I don't know. They decided to bring back the Americans to the Russian safe house because it's not safe to lead the sharks back to their base. And please, I just remember that this is a shark movie about Russians and shark people on the moon. Please, it's just, come on. It's a shark movie. I genuinely, I don't know if this is the best or worst movie I've ever seen, but it sure is a movie that I've seen. They get on the rover and Henry, which is the first time they ever mentioned his name, gets absolutely yoinked off of this rover and taken away. We assume he's dead. They also mention here that sharks are attracted to electromagnetic waves for some reason, and that's why they can't call back to the ship, is because it'll alert the sharks to where their ship is. Why? Is that a power that they have? What part of hammerheads and humans make electromagnetic wave reading? We cut to Henry, who was taken to the shark underground city. Also, he can breathe underground now, by the way. I guess they have oxygen down there. And all the sharks speak fluent Russian. So, that's cool, I guess. The shark leader lady person, they really never explain what she is, comes up and talks to an, oh my God, it is actually hideous. It's like one of those TikTok green screen effects you can use, you know, like the tiger runs by or the plane crashes into the floor. It's like, ugh. Like, just remember that this budget was made by Tubi, okay? Anyways, back on the Russian ship, she reveals that she was half shark.
I knew there was something fishy about her.
Hey man, that was my line! And then, you know, they're just talking, getting to know each other, and they all start bonding over their love for Elton John. Apparently the Russian dude saw him in Moscow, so they're like all friends. I don't know, this isn't important. I want to know more about the sharks, you know? The weird fucking shark creatures that just live on the moon now. And so that's exactly what we get. The Russian guy gives us a big lore drop, and apparently the Soviets designed these sharks to inhabit the moon. That's why they were being made, was to inhabit the moon and take it over. To stop the Americans from getting it. What are you talking about, man? Michael is like, guys, we should just stop yapping and go save Henry, right? And then the commander lady just goes, what if I secretly call the ship? That's a good idea, right? It's not. Old hammerhead guy gets a whiff of the ship, so they're fucked, right? We get some really cheesy dialogue from the crew, and we cut back to Henry getting the shit beat out of him by these sharks. Like, absolutely walloped, man. So they're sitting there interrogating him, and they're like, oh, tell us where the ship is. And he says no once. And immediately, they bite his leg off. Gone. It's gone. They do cauterize it so he lives, but, like, just gone. Okay. Whatever. I would tell them immediately. I'm immediately folding if they threaten to eat my leg. We cut back to our Russians and our... Oh, okay, so they had a costume change for some reason. I still really don't understand how this shit is supposed to keep them alive on the moon without oxygen, but apparently it is oxygen because they got the tube. I don't know, do they not remember that, like, when you're in space you fucking explode if you're not wearing something? It's like really cold there. I don't know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, man. They head out to the shark base to try to save their friends, and we get to this absolutely massive shark base, right? And my question is, if there was only this Russian dude and the daughter on this planet before them, why do the sharks have a prison or an interrogation room or guards patrolling? Because they mentioned having to sneak around the patrols and sneak around the interrogator. Who are they for? Maybe it's just there's so many of them that they started having crime now. I don't really know. As they're sitting on this ledge plotting their rescue attempt for their friend Henry, this shark comes running up and attacks them. And we get this Power Rangers ass fight scene, which I'm just gonna play the ending of it here because it's really fucking funny. God, I love this movie. After that amazing fight scene, we cut back to the main crew, who decided to go outside looking, and they found Liam's arm, the very first dude that died, just sitting on the ground. So obviously something is wrong, right? Suddenly, obviously, some sharks appear, so they start running away, and Owen gets fucking deleted. Gone. He's dead. After Owen dies, we get this lady, who they never named, immediately peeking the fuck out of the microphone, running away. Oh my god, she was trying to get that Scream Queen title so badly, and it's not happening. Anyways, they're both obviously dead, and we cut back to the shark base, right? A lot of cuts in this movie, I apologize, but for some reason, bad movies love having jump cuts for no reason. But once they get inside, they finally find Henry, and I'm sorry, but this guy is just not a great actor. His leg is gone, fully gone, and they come in, and he's just like, guys, I'm kind of sorry, man. I kind of fucked up, man. I'm sorry. Darn. Anyways, they rescue him and they start to head out, and I just wanted to mention they kind of reused this scene of this shark walking by like 3 times throughout the movie, and I just kind of really like this scene. I don't know, he looks like a chill dude, you know? But they keep making their way out, and they find a room filled with these like shark baby pod things. Apparently the sharks wanted to bring them to Earth to conquer Earth. That's like their whole purpose here. The humans obviously want to kill them, but the half shark, half daughter lady is like, they're innocent, don't do it, that's evil. And they get into this like heated ethical debate. I don't know, boring. But lo and behold, the humans all leave, and the daughter stays behind in the baby room and meets up with the leader of the sharks. She was evil all along! No!
Magnificent. Just like you and me, sister.
No. Don't group me in with your kind, Sella.
Wait, no? Okay, apparently they were sisters, but she doesn't like her. I don't know, it's kind of hard to follow the dialogue here when one of the people talking is a 7-foot CGI monstrosity that does not look like it should exist ever. We come back to the ship, and the weirdest part is the people that were still on the ship don't really care that it's sharks, right? Like, he says that there's shark teeth, and their reactions are just like, meh. Like, they don't care at all. Not even a little bit? You're not even a little curious about why there's fucking shark teeth on the moon? I don't know anymore. I don't want to watch this movie anymore, man. We get more terrible CGI. They mention releasing the big one, and then we get this. What the fuck is that? It looks like a creature that would chase you in Garden of Banban, man. It is so bad. But anyways, this big fuck-ass dog thing keeps chasing them, and they just like narrowly escape, and they get back to regroup with everyone. Cut back to this touching regroup session in the spaceship, and everyone is honestly just surprisingly calm, and they start plotting to get out of there. Everybody's just like, okay, yeah, whatever, there's sharks here now, we gotta leave. They realize that the sharks are coming, right? The sharks are coming, they found their base. So Henry, the guy with one leg, is sent as a distraction to guide all the sharks away so they can fly away in time. So, yeah, let's send the cripple to go run fast. Genius. I mean, like, not to be ableist or anything, but I don't think that was your best choice, okay? Like, how is he gonna run away? Oh, okay, so that's how he's gonna get away from them. This movie is so stupid. I don't think that would propel him like anywhere based on the size, but anyways, he obviously dies from that, right? No one really cares. Henry didn't really even do anything either because sharks get on the ship like almost immediately after. He flew like 2 inches away from the door. And we cut to this lady hiding under a like chest height glass table, and she's just crouching under it like, I hope the shark doesn't see me. And for some reason the shark doesn't see her until she starts trying to climb out and knocks a can over in the kitchen. I don't know, she's obviously dead, but that's not the one that made me upset. I'm about to show you the lamest death sequence I've ever seen in a movie, and oh my god, it was bad.
Come on. Got it. Oh, shit.
But yeah, after that, we skip a little bit, and we get this like final battle between our heroes and our sharks. The heroes made it back to the shark base because that's like where the final event takes place. For some reason, the sharks stole their ship, and so they decide to start fighting the giant creature and the like woman shark, and the woman shark starts one by one throwing them into the fucking mouth of the giant creature, right? They're all dead. And after a lot more of absolute nothingness, the sharks start flying away, and we get this last-ditch savior hero attempt from Sergei to stop them. So he crashes into the shark city, blows up like all the buildings. Somehow a geyser hits the ship that's flying away, and we get this really like Pompeii-style scene of like their village burning down on the moon. It's so stupid. It's so dumb. But with that, you know, we see the giant creature get burned in the lava, and you think like, yeah, no one lives. It's like a tragic story about a lost crew, right? No. I cannot explain how much I was not expecting this as the ending. But you know that giant creature that they got put in and like killed by being thrown in their mouth? Turns out they're not dead. He got hit with such a hot blast wave that he crystallized fully, and then he got launched so hard that he launched off the moon all the way back to Earth and landed with them there. So they're good. The three people at the end fully live. The woman and her 2 goons. Sergei gone. His daughter and the commander, they're chilling. I don't know. That's the end of the movie. That's the end. I don't know what the fuck happened. That has to be one of the best, worst movies I've ever seen, and to just remember that it was funded by Tubi and not some random shitty ass studio that's never gonna do anything again is actually mind-blowing to me. I forced my girlfriend to watch this movie with me, and she genuinely walked out halfway through because of how ass this movie is, and that is saying a lot because we have watched a lot of really shitty movies together. I don't know, man. I don't think I can find a much worse shark movie than that. But anyways, I need to go watch a good shark movie or something to like recollect myself, like Jaws 3D. That's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Fan art is on the screen now. If you want your fan art here, send it to me and I'll put it here if I like it. But yeah, I'm gonna go like lie down now.